Coach signing day for the Golden Eagles. Just give us a general summary on how things went for your coaching staff today.
I think it was really good. We're small in numbers from what we've been signing in some of our classes in earlier years, but at the same time, I think it's a really good quality. We hit positions we needed to hit. I think in October we decided we need a couple offensive linemen, we need a quarterback, we need a inside receiver, whatever we needed. We set that, and I think today when we're looking at it, we were able to hit every need that we had, and a lot of quality kids, a lot of really good students. I think they'll fit in with the group that we have.
Locally, you had several local players signed.
Yeah, we did, and that's been neat for us. There were some highly recruited local guys this year that had a lot of offers, and that we got every one of those guys. Had to fight to get them, but we kept them here in the area, and it's going to be neat. I think that will be big for our community to see a lot of local guys playing here.
You said you felt like you filled the needs for several years to come.
Yeah, I really do. A few offensive linemen were very important. An outside linebacker to take the place of Marcus Edwards and Tommy McBride. They've been playing here for a long time. A nose guard. We've had great nose guards in my time here, all OVC players. Hit a fantastic nose guard to go right with the two seniors that we have coming back on our team. Punter was very, very important. And yet as we got a punter kicker, a guy that's very well thought of in that direction. A couple of linebackers needed to be in this class. And then we wanted some inside receiver cornerback kind of guys that could play either side of the ball, some cover guys. We're in a league now that's a lot of spread offenses in the league, and thought we needed to match it with some speed and some cover guys and maybe some more inside guys. We did not go after safeties, did not go after wide receivers at all in this class.
Had to be a satisfying day for your staff because there were no surprises. Everybody that you had hoped to sign.
That's good, and because you never know. Like I say, it's 17 guys that we signed, and all of them are now in, and makes me feel good. And I'm very proud of our coaches. It's those 2 months are very hard. They're very hard work. People don't understand, Rob. You leave the season, whether it's been a great season, a tough season, whatever. You hit the road immediately. And all of December, all of January, the coaches were all gone. And the work that they've put in, I'm very proud of.
Let's talk player by player and go down the list for your signees. Josh Bellew from Mount Juliet.
Josh Bellew is a linebacker from Mount Juliet that we're very excited about. He's a very tough kid. Played guard on offense, so he's been down in the mix, and he's worked really hard and just a really good linebacker. I think a guy that is a big, strong guy and a tough guy that will take the place. We got 3 senior linebackers on our team next year, so it'll be neat to get some linebackers in here that hopefully maybe we can redshirt and be our future players.
Brady Bose, Ashland City.
Brady is one of those tight end kind of guys that I think will end up being a defensive lineman here. Played both sides of the ball. He's 6'4", 285. He's a big kid. We got to watch Brady up close and personal at the East-West All-Star game here in practice, and fell in love with him at that point. He could play a lot of places. Could end up being an offensive lineman. He's already 6'4", 285, and played both sides of the ball at Cheatham County. I think he's going to be a future defensive lineman for us.
Coming out of Florida, you've got a familiar name, Robert Hill Bronson.
It's in the Johnson, Robert Hill Johnson. It's the Johnson family, and he's the grandson of Bill Johnson from Sparta that has been a big supporter of ours. We really like this young man. He's a tough guy. He led his conference in sacks. A really good open space player. A strong kid. He's about a 380 bencher right now, and he will be a projected linebacker from us and for us, and really excited about getting him.
Talk about Trey Burks.
Trey's a running back from Tullahoma and a really good player. We play with that type of running back here at Tennessee Tech, and it's got to be a space guy, but yet strong enough to run up inside. Has to be good enough to block linebackers. You look at the stats of all these guys; they're very impressive, and I think he'll be one of our future running backs here at Tennessee Tech.
Out of Nashville, Michael Kane.
Michael Kane, they call him Mike. Probably one of the 2 or 3 highest recruited kids we had. He had all kind of places he could go, and fought really hard to get him. He's 5'9", about 295 pounds. He's that nose guard I was talking about for the future. You look at this young man, sacks, they're unbelievable. Sacks, tackles for losses, fumbles, recoveries, safeties. It's just unbelievable what this kid did at Whites Creek. I just think he's the next great nose guard future here at Tennessee Tech.
Alabama kid, Jordan Carroll.
Jordan is an outside linebacker. Played where Marcus and Tommy McBride, Dwight Evans. We've had some pretty good ones come through here in the last couple of 3 years, past 4 or 5 years. And I think he's the next one that we signed to be at that position. Could be a guy that could even play some next year. I hope not a lot of these would have to do that. But he's one young man just because of the position he plays that may have to play next year. He's another 380-pound bencher coming out of high school. That's a really strong kid and has played the position that we want him to play, so he's got a little experience at what we're going to ask him to do. Really excited about Jordan.
Guy that played in Tucker Stadium, Tyler Cohen.
Tyler is an area kid that can play so many plays. He can play any one of the positions in the offensive line. Very well could be an inside defensive lineman. We're going to try to make Tyler a center first and to see what he can do with that, see if we can teach him to snap. He's from Gordonsville. He was the single A Mr. Football in the state. Very well thought of young man, and neat, Rob, to me, to get the area guys that were being recruited by a lot of schools to leave the area, and we're able to keep them here. He's one of those guys.
Another local kid, Hayden Friel.
Hayden's another one from Rockwood that will be a tight end here for us, tight end H-back kind of guy. Hayden is one of those guys I think that some of my tight ends that I've had in the past where can play tight end and move outside to inside receiver and athletic enough to play both of those kind of positions. Could also play outside linebacker, but I really think he'll be an H-back tight end. And again, very highly recruited, had a lot of schools after him, and coached by a Tech guy, so it's close to here to Tennessee Tech. Glad to have Hayden come into Tech with us.
Got one out of Clarksville, Malik Hall.
Malik is probably one of the better well-known guys in this recruiting class. You look at his stats, they're phenomenal. I mean, I think 1,600 yards rushing or more, 1,000 yards receiving, a bunch of interceptions, 4 return punts for touchdowns, all in his senior year. Again, one of the top 2 or 3 highest recruited guys in this class. And again, Malik could do so many different things for us. Could be a cover guy, could be an inside receiver kind of guy, could be a returner, can carry the ball, just can do a lot of different things. Really, really excited about him.
One of 2 kids from Livingston, Creed Hayes.
Creed Hayes is a little bit just like this one. Can play corner, can play inside receiver, can play running back, can return kicks. Another one of those speed guys. We thought if we took any skill guy, we got a lot of receivers here, a lot of big backs, a lot of tall 6'3" receivers. We wanted it to be maybe a smaller open field kind of guys, whoever we took, and that could play more than one position. So Creed fit all of those things for us. And, again, right down the road at Livingston, where we'll have a big community from Livingston now coming to all of our games for sure.
Kicker out of Knoxville, Jonathan King.
Jonathan was probably the most highly recruited guy that we got. He had Division I offers, quite a few Division I offers, and a lot of offers on our level. Went after him hard as a punter. Again, I've not said it, but about half of this bunch, maybe more, were all in this East-West All-Star game here. And we watched him punt in person. I said, wow, that's the next guy. I don't know if we can get him, but let's go get him if we can. And his mom is an Upperman High lady, and so it's bringing Jonathan back to grandparents a little bit. And but he'll also compete for the kicking job. I think that he'll get right in there with the 2 kickers that we have now and give them a run for their money. And hopefully after Chad Zincini's gone as our all-OVC punter, he will be the next punter here for the next 4 years, unless we can't redshirt him because he ends up being a kicker that would help us in that way this year.
The other Livingston player, Brock McCoy.
Brock is my kind of QB. He's an athletic quarterback. I love to run the quarterback some and throw. We really do run a quarterback-oriented offense here, and he's exactly what I look to have. I mean, I think he'll grow and get bigger. He could come in and play right now. I'd love to redshirt him and have him around here for a while. But he'll come in and compete immediately. But he's got everything that we want as a quarterback, and it's neat to have one 20 miles down the road that has got that kind of talent. And he won't want me to say this, but coached his daddy, so that shows my age again. Recruited his daddy, coached his daddy in high school, and I see a lot of the exact same skills that his daddy had.
Player out of Georgia, Charles Rutledge.
Charles is an offensive lineman. We wanted an offensive tackle that had great feet. We thought we had to improve our feet in their offensive line, and Charles is a 6'5", 245, 50-pounder now that I think will be a 280-pounder. We will redshirt Charles when he comes in, but this kid's good enough to play defensive end. But he will be an offensive lineman. He knows that, and I think he'll be a great future. You're having to get really good feet at tackle nowadays because of the space game that we're all playing, and these ends are getting better. People are starting to rush linebackers and DBs more on the outside, and we felt like we really had to improve our quickness on the flanks a little bit in our offensive line, and he gives us that.
Gage Terry.
Gage is another offensive defensive lineman, a very tough kid, physical. He'll play guard here. We're going to make him an offensive guard, but he's got feet good enough to even play defensive tackle. And but he will be a guard here at Tennessee Tech, and I think going to be a really good player. He's very strongly interested in engineering, which gave us a great chance to get him. And again, highly recruited within our league, and glad to have him coming to Tech.
Coming down from Cincinnati, Trey Thompson.
Trey Thompson's a linebacker, another one of those three linebackers that we're bringing in, and 6'1", 210 kind of guy, very athletic. Thought we needed to improve our athleticism at linebacker too. And from LaSalle High School in Cincinnati, and we go back to Cincinnati every year. I spent years there as the coach at the University of Cincinnati, and we have good contacts up there. And all the players that we've gotten from Cincinnati help us recruit kids again, and we'll always keep going to Cincinnati. We think Trey is a really good player.
Jerquin Vine.
Jerquin is another one of those guys like Malik Hall, Creed Hayes. Jerquin is the same thing. Could be an offense, defensive guy, corner. So there's three different guys that could play a lot of different positions, and that's what we went out to get, and we were able to find three of those kind of guys. And we fixed so many needs with all three of those because they can play so many different places. And I don't know where Jerquin will play yet, possibly corner early for us. I think if the first one of those three that I think would go to corner first would be Jerquin, but he could play one of many positions, offensively or defensively also.
And finally, Demetrius Watson.
Demetrius is a 6'3", 240-pound tight end outside linebacker from Beach High School that won the state championship. And, again, another guy that I fell in love with watching him at the state championship game, watching him at the East-West All-Star game. Could play so many places. Might play strong safety here, might play outside linebacker, might play a tight end, H-back type position, could even line up even as a fullback, some in the backfield. I think he's athletic enough to even carry the ball if he had to, and really, really excited about Demetrius. But again, there's another one of those, Rob, that having the championship games here, having the East-West All-Star game here was a big, big plus for us. We're standing right there watching him doing things live, and that is huge for the opportunity to bring kids like that to this program.
All right, Coach, congratulations on a good signing day.
Thanks. Glad to get it over with.